So, for many decades in Canada, uh, semi-automatics have been legal. And a semi-automatic gun is one where, with each pull of the trigger, you can fire a bullet without having to reload the gun. Um, and those semi-automatics, for decades, have had a ban on having more than 5 bullets in the cartridge or in the magazine. So for decades in Canada, gun owners have had guns that can fire up to 5 bullets sequentially without reloading, with 5 pulls of the trigger. The government hasn't banned all of those kinds of rifles, those kinds of long arms. They've just banned some of them based on what they look like, because they look like military assault rifles. And the ones that look like military assault rifles, they have banned. But the other ones that have the exact same capacity of 5 bullets and 5 bullets being shot in sequence with 5 pulls of the trigger, those are not banned because they don't look like military assault rifles. So to me, that's why this whole announcement doesn't make any sense. I don't think that banning a gun for what it looks like is going to solve anything, frankly. I do think having a voluntary buyback program is something that can take a number of guns off the street, and that's what the government has announced. It's not yet been put in place because Parliament needs to reconvene in order to pass legislation authorizing a buyback program. But I think having a voluntary buyback program is something well worth looking at. What I would really like to see is a much bigger focus on what appears to be the real problem in Canada with gun deaths, which is the use of illegally acquired guns smuggled across the Canada-US border. And so I would like to see a lot more effort put into resources, put into legislation, put into regulation to prevent the ever-increasing issue of illegal guns being smuggled across that border. That, to me, is where the evidence appears to point and where the effort of the government should be placed. We've been certainly calling for that for a number of months, a number of years now, but the government has yet to introduce a single measure that would tackle this problem of cross-border gun smuggling. So we'll continue to put pressure on them to do it because it appears that's where the heart of the issue is. I think the other problem that we're facing with gun deaths in Canada is that there is a dearth of data. The government of Canada does not collect enough data about the origin of the guns used in the commission of crimes and in gun deaths in Canada. We need a lot better data to ascertain where these guns are coming from and to then base decisions based on that data. It appears, we guess, that a lot of these guns are acquired illegally and smuggled across that Canada-US border, but we're not 100% certain of that because the data isn't comprehensive and it's not sufficient enough to make those conclusions. So that's the second thing that I'd like to see the government do, is to put more effort in collecting data on the guns used in the commission of these crimes so that we can make better decisions. You know, to me, it's a similar challenge to what we're having with the COVID-19 disease. We don't have very good data collection at the federal level of what is going on across the country. And I think that's another example of where the government needs to do a better job of collecting data so that we can make decisions based on evidence.